Thank you for tuning in to MacroView Television and welcome to a brand new edition of Taiwan Outlook, the program that presents the people and their stories on Taiwan. I'm your host, Wu Ruiguo. From TPP to RCEP, joining regional economic blocs has always been a government priority in recent years. What can we expect in the year 2016? We're going to find out on today's program because we are delighted to have as our special guest Dr. Charles Cho, who's currently the Deputy Executive of the Chinese Taipei APEC Study Center at the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research. Welcome to our program, Dr. Cho.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Wu, thanks for the invitation. I'm very glad to be here with you.
Well, it's a delight to have you on the program, Dr. Cho. And let me ask you a question to start off the program today. That, we know global terrorism is a fact of life, for all of us, no matter where you live on the planet. And there has been a concern for global economy ever since the 9/11 attack in the year of 2001. And how do you think the persistent concern or apprehension over terrorism, would that have a long-term impact on global economy, especially in tourism industry and also global stock markets? Your view?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I do believe that the terrorist attack affect our global economy and cause additional economic cost.
Of course.
According to the Institute for Economics and Peace, in 2014, terrorist attacks claimed totally about $53 billion cost globally. Right. And the cost of increased security measures and the higher insurance fee are not included.
No, okay.
The amount is about the national GDP of Bulgaria,
really?
And it's higher than September 11 attacks in the USA.
Okay.
And currently, we can see the economic demand is shrinking, and the consumption is lower in Paris.
Okay.
We can see, definitely these phenomena will harm the French economy and its trading partners.
Yes.
But in my viewpoint, a terrorist attack contribute few disturbance to our global economy. Is because, first of all, global economy today is a network of connected added value activities,
yes,
or we know as the global value chains. The terrorist attack affect the global economy significantly,
of course,
unless
yes,
they hit the weakest link in the chains.
All right.
For example, key infrastructure,
all right,
or they stop the production or processing of key materials and parts.
I think, Dr. Cho, a lot of people are concerned in the sense, since global terrorism is here to stay, all right? And the fact is, nobody knows when global terrorism will strike next. Where is it going to be? When is it going to happen? So there could be a amount of hesitation on the part of consumers and also investors. I don't want to make a huge investment. I don't want to do a huge purchase because I don't know when terrorism is going to strike. And when that happens, it's going to have an adverse impact on my finances, on my family's economic circumstances. So would you think that will create a long-term impact on the continued expansion and growth of global economy? What do you think?
Okay, thank you. Well, I understand the worries in the market.
Okay.
But personally, I don't think that we should worry too much about that.
Really?
Let me give you an example.
Please.
A huge damage to our global economy. I mean, the situation, something similar could be the tsunami attack.
Yes.
Occurred in 2011 in Japan. During the aftermath of the tsunami attack, of course, it's tragedy. The supply chain of Japanese IT and the auto industry are badly hit.
Yes.
But, you know, I know that a terrorist attack could be anywhere, but few terrorist attacks could be a comparison to the Japanese tsunami in a sense of scale and the damage.
Yes.
Okay, that's the first reason. And secondly, I think most of us agree that the motivation for or backing the terrorist attack is about creating terror among people and to increase political pressure, but not to increase the economic cost.
Okay.
Now, terrorist attack has been used by the terrorists as a tool to increase their power and make the recruitment easier. You know that now today the ISIS is the one can create the most terrorists in a global scale.
Yes.
So now, if anyone wants to join the terrorist group, they go to ISIS. No one cares about, for example, Al Qaeda anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And the political pressure generated by the terrorist attack could change the behavior of the targeted countries.
Yes.
That's what the terrorists want.
Yes.
So based on the two reasons, I don't think that we should worry too much about the economic consequences of a terrorist attack, especially the operation of the global economy.
Okay. And Dr. Zhou, let me ask you this, though. I mean, we don't know when the next terrorist attack will happen, where it's going to be, when it's going to happen. But, you know, what can we do, both, you know, as individuals, also as different, you know, individual economy? What can we do to try to reduce the adverse impact of the potential for terrorist attack on global economy and commerce? What can we do? Please.
Okay. First of all, I think you know, there is a need to construct a private-public partnership.
Okay.
Between the government and the entrepreneurs.
Yes.
I think you know, managing terrorist attack.
Yes.
In a digital world is a difficult task.
Yes.
And you know, we can't look on the governments solely to deal with the issues.
Yes.
And there are a lot of capacity and expertise in the private sectors.
Yes.
They can offer very technical and useful support to the government's campaign for against anti-terrorism.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. And I understand also, Dr. Zhou, you have a very interesting theory about, you know, terrorist attack, that you do think that, you know, God forbid it will happen, but if it does, that, you know, there will be some industries and there will be some additional opportunities for commercial activities. What are some of them? Please elaborate.
Okay. Well, I would like to offer some examples that I can think of right now.
Okay.
You know. For example, first of all, I think while the risk of terrorist attack arise, those who respond properly gain additional niche in the face of business competition.
All right.
Okay. So there is an opportunity for furthering the concept and practice of business continuity plan, or in brief, BCP.
Okay.
You know, originally the concept of BCP is a program to help enterprises coming back to their business after a hit of, for example, a natural disaster or a fire accident or something like that. But now there is a great opportunity for us to expand the coverage of the BCP so as to make the business resilient to terrorist attack.
Okay.
And the relevant service business could be upgraded to a higher quality of service. Okay. For example, some of my friends working for a consultancy who offer BCP services to business.
Okay.
You know, if they can extend the coverage of BCP to terrorism, it will lift the quality of their service, and you know, it's also a golden chance for them to make more money.
Right.
That's one of the examples. The other thing I would like to offer is that human history shows that innovation can come from security concerns.
Okay.
You know, today, when the terrorist attack arises, there's more demand about surveillance.
Okay.
And it's also a great chance to advance our IT service itself.
Okay. All right.
For example, just like I mentioned, that in the campaign of anti-terrorism, the government and the private sector should work hand in hand to find a proper balance between our anti-terrorism efforts and the protection of individuals' privacy.
Okay.
And the entrepreneurs in the IT industry have possessed the necessary technical capacities and expertise to help the government to do that. So it means that we can do more by IT service and industry, and also help the IT service and industry to grow.
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
so it's a win-win situation for both the public and private sector.
All right.
The responsibility of the government is to reduce the risk and work with the private sector to seek any business opportunity emerge.
Okay. Dr. Zhou, we've been, talking about joining regional economic blocs for some years, ever since, the year 2000, I believe. And there's been a lot of discussions about, in Taiwan, about joining RCEP and also, of course, TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We understand this is a government priority. It is important for Taiwan. But would you please elaborate for us what is the economic meaning and what is the strategic importance for Taiwan to be part of a regional bloc, economic bloc, like the TPP? Please.
Thank you, Professor Wu. I would like to describe TPP as a game changer in the changing political economy of the Asia-Pacific region.
Okay.
The TPP is to eliminate most of the tariff in trading goods and deal with non-tariff barriers to trade behind the borders.
Okay.
Some of these behind-the-border issues, for example, environmental and labor protection, are in fact out of beyond the scope of the WTO negotiation.
Yes.
Okay. So and it contains a full economic and strategic implication for the region and also to Taiwan. Okay. Firstly, I would like to talk about its economic implications. According to the newest research in TIER, I mean the
place where you work.
The place I work.
Yes.
Yeah, we will gain a significant economic benefit if we can join the second round negotiation of TPP.
Okay.
Earlier, we assessed the economic benefit of joining TPP by calculating the effect of the elimination of tariff only. And the outcome of the assessment shows tiny gains for joining the TPP.
Okay.
But now our newest research shows that if in the second round negotiation of TPP, 4 more economies join, including Korea, China, and Taiwan, as well as 25% liberalization of trade and service take effect.
Okay.
We will, Taiwan will gain at least 2% in GDP growth, and extra $13 billion in export.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
This is exactly what we need in the time of economic uncertainty.
Yes.
And otherwise, we will be further isolated in the trend of regional integration. The consequence is not just about the reduction of trade balance, which is is the key to Taiwan's economic growth. You know,
yes.
we are so dependent on foreign trade. But also, there's a risk that we could be set aside. I mean, some of the industry in Taiwan could be set aside from the current global value chain, GVCs. Yes. Let me offer an example.
Please.
For the past 2 years, we noticed that there is a shift of investment in the textile industry from China, Taiwan to Vietnam.
Yes, Southeast Asia.
Yes. Now Vietnam is one of the most benefit member country because of joining TPP. You know, what should worry us is that if anything similar might happen to other industrial sectors in Taiwan, if we finally fail to join TPP. That's something we should think about.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
All right.
And in a strategic sense, I think the conclusion of the first round negotiation of TPP shows the USA's supremacy in its competition with China for shaping the economic landscape of the Asia-Pacific region. And the compromise between US and Japan in the issues of automobile and agriculture shows that USA is capable of organizing an effective coalition with Japan in regional trade issues.
Yes. For other economies who are interested to be part of the TPP, I mean, we all, at one point or another, have to face some domestic resistance.
Yes.
You brought up the example just now about the agriculture sector in Japan. You know, they are very, strong presence. And the same thing can be said about, Taiwan's economy. You know, if, I mean, of course, government has been, persuading the public, having dialogues with different, civic groups about the importance for Taiwan to join these regional blocs. Especially in the area of agricultural manufacturing and also in terms of quarantine measures. If we're going to be importing a lot of foreign foods into Taiwan, what do you think would be the reaction from Taiwan? I don't want to call it protectionism, but in the sense that the people in Taiwan are concerned about their own economic well-being in the future. How can we manage and deal with these, discontents? Please.
Okay. Well, I think we will experience multiple domestic challenges if we join the TPP.
Of course.
I would like to illustrate some of them here.
Please.
First of all, our agriculture and some vulnerable manufacturing sector ready for more competition? Okay. What we need now is a comprehensive program for industrial upgrading so as to embrace more competition and a feasible policy and a package to compensate those who might be disadvantaged position.
Yes.
Yeah, because of the increase of competition. And the other thing is that the SPS measures is a key component of TPP.
Okay.
Till now, we have yet to reach a consensus with USA on the safety standard of pork.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's a very sensitive issue. Between USA and Taiwan. And what embarrasses us most is that, in my viewpoint, our current argument is not supported by the international scientific community.
Okay.
And this situation is, in fact, influence or impact the mutual trust between U.S. and Taiwan in trade issue. Yeah, that's another challenge we are facing. And the third thing is that, the central argument of the TPP chapter on state-owned enterprises, embrace the SOEs, is to pursue competition neutrality, which means that to delete any privilege that SOEs or the privatized SOE enjoyed in the member states.
Yes.
Okay. So in this arena, some of our companies in the telecommunication industry,
yes,
and the post service will be in test.
Okay.
And finally, TPP set high standards
yes,
for regulation, harmonization, transparency, and anti-corruption,
yes,
of course. And there is a huge room for improvement in our government's capability
yes,
in coordination and communication between ministries or between different levels of governments, yes, if we want to meet the high standards set by TPP.
Yes.
That's some of the domestic challenges that we will be facing.
All right.
Okay, of course, we just discussed about the external issues and the domestic challenges,
yes,
till now. So what comes next, it's about what we can do.
Yes.
Okay. Of course, we can't manage all the external and domestic issues at once.
Yes.
But I think I might suggest some starting point,
yes,
which might help.
Please.
First of all, as the clock is ticking now, it's very crucial to make sure that our current preparation won't slow down, even if the opposition party
yes,
might take the office.
Ruling parties.
Might take office in 2016.
Yes.
And we have to make sure that the transitional period between the current government and the new one
yes,
will generate any negative impact to all the preparation we are doing.
Yes.
Okay, that's the one thing. And the second is about we can take a good advantage of the APEC.
Yes.
So to collect the relevant information, which might help when we are trying to join TPP.
Okay.
Evidence shows that some of the key issues addressed in the TPP has long been discussed in APEC. Okay. And it's expected that new issues might come out in the TPP second round negotiation. I won't be surprised if the major economies in the region will discuss these new issues in APEC.
Okay.
So if we take good advantage of the APEC, we can receive the most updated information about these new issues that everyone is concerned, so as to benefit our preparation for joining the TPP.
All right.
Okay. Well, APEC is the most influential regional forum in the Asia Pacific. It composed of 21 member economies,
yes,
which represent nearly 60% of global GDP, more than 40% of population on Earth, and 50% of global trade volume. Okay. There is a joke that if we vote in the United Nations by GDP, then the APEC as a whole can always be the winner. Okay. With its economic weight and significant role in the region, since its establishment in 1989, especially after the formation of APEC leaders meeting, APEC has evolved into the most important regional forum. It accommodates economies of different levels in development and enjoy high profile among other global and the regional architectures. Anyone who is interested in the changing political economic trend in the Asia Pacific simply can't miss anything happen in the APEC annual ministerial meeting and the leaders summit.
Yes.
Okay. APEC used to be underestimated because the legally non-binding nature of its decision. Members voluntarily joined APEC's activity or initiative, and every decision was made by consensus. However, in the APEC context, non-binding doesn't mean not effective. As a regional forum aims at promoting the liberalization and facilitation of trade and investment, APEC creates peer pressure to promote unilateral trade liberalization and facilitation. And it does work. And in addition, based on its economic weight APEC plays its role of agenda setting.
Okay.
For example, you might know the IT and environmental goods tariff reduction agreement were negotiated in Geneva. Well, APEC leaders has reached consensus on the scope and principle of these tariff reduction agreement before they are negotiated in Geneva. Okay, this year, APEC determined to realize its unilateral trade tariff reduction target even before the binding negotiation in Geneva can be concluded in the environmental goods and service. And APEC began to discuss the initiative of a region-wide FTA, which is named FTAP since 2006.
Yes,
you know, it's long ago.
Yes.
And this has inspired the emergence of regional economic integration initiatives like TPP and RCEP.
Okay.
In 2010, APEC leaders declared that regional integration initiatives like TPP should be seen as one of the possible pathway toward the realization of FTAP. So I would like to emphasize that APEC is generating peer review, peer pressure for unilateral liberalization, but also playing a role as of agenda setting for the multilateral trading system, as well as the regional integration initiatives.
Okay, but you know, Dr. Zhou, for many people or businesses in Taiwan, they will look at such a very important economic forum like APEC as something that's out of their reach. It is something, of course, it's important that happens every year, and then there are some important discussions on important issues that will have an impact on Taiwan's economy. But most of the people don't understand. For Taiwan to be one of the 21 member economies in APEC, how has it benefited Taiwan's economy? What areas has it been a boost for Taiwan's GDP? What are some of the areas where the windows of opportunities have been opened because of APEC? Please.
Okay. Participating in APEC is really valuable for Taiwan. Taiwan can benefit in the following aspect. First of all, we receive most updated information about the trend and issues in trade and investment in the region. Okay. When member economies present or initiate their concept or initiative in the APEC Forum. Let me give you a good example. We learned the concept of behind-the-border issues in the APEC Forum long before they are included in the TPP text. Okay. Right. So it definitely benefits our preparation for joining the TPP negotiation. And secondly, APEC offers a platform for Taiwan to interact with our neighboring countries who have no official diplomatic relationship with us. Okay. We discussed a lot of issues with our neighboring countries, and so far we can't find any other platform like APEC to offer these kinds of opportunity for us to communicate within the region. That's the second thing. And the third thing is that Taiwan has demonstrated its strong wills and economic strength in promoting regional economic cooperation by initiating or participating in the APEC activities. One of the most famous example is our initiative of APEC Digital Opportunity Center. During the 10-year implementation of this initiative, Taiwan established 101 digital opportunity centers around the Asia-Pacific region, so as to help to diminish the digital divide in the developing member economies. It wins us a reputation of our IT capacity, and also our willingness and strength in capacity building.
Okay.
That's good for Taiwan, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And given the fact that we have already been a member, economy in APEC, for some time, will this, kind of help the businesses in Taiwan and also the general public at large about the upcoming challenges as we try to join the TPP? Will people or businesses in Taiwan be better prepared mentally and also in terms of operation about what to expect if one day, when that comes, that we are part of TPP? Would you think so? Would you think that people would start thinking about technological upgrading? They would think about diversification of their products and services. Would they be thinking about those preparations because of our participation in APEC? What do you think? Okay,
I would like to respond by illustrating some of the benefit of Taiwan's joining the operation of APEC for the business community.
Please.
For example, formerly we mentioned about APEC's contribution in promoting the negotiation of ITA, okay. IT product, the reduction of tariff of IT product, as well as the tariff reduction of environmental goods.
Yes.
Okay, in Geneva. That's two very concrete contribution of APEC to the global trade regime.
Okay.
And of course, our business community can benefit from these two negotiations. For your information, Taiwan participate in both two negotiations in Geneva.
Good.
Yes.
All right.
And secondly, I would like to mention that parallel to the official track of APEC, there is a business track of APEC process, which is named ABAC, composed of entrepreneurs from every member economies.
Okay.
The businessmen gathered regularly, 4 times a year,
yes.
Under the umbrella of ABAC, and developing business networking and exchange their ideas about the regional issues that they concerned about, ranging from tariff, service, trade facilitation like cooperation in customs, right. And the labor supply, and how to raise the quality of human resources,
good.
And so on. So, APEC is not just about interaction between governments in the region, but also a perfect ground for networking of the business community in the region.
All right.
Yeah. We are expecting that more contribution the APEC process might bring to our business association or enterprises.
Charles, we've been talking about the different functions and the role that APEC plays in Asia Pacific economy, and let's talk about this year, 2016. It's going to the APEC unofficial leaders meetings will take place in Peru, and would you tell us then a little bit about what's on the agenda? What will be some of the major issues that the members, economies will go over at the Peru meeting this year? Please.
Thank you, Professor Wu. Just like what you have mentioned, the APEC 2016 annual theme is about quality growth and human development.
Good.
Which is expanded from the concept of quality growth emphasized by Philippines in 2015. To our APEC members, quality growth is not just about growth
of
in
the GDP number.
Quality,
yes.
in quantity,
yeah.
But also a lift in the quality of life and work in the region.
Good.
So, and this will be brought to reality through a people-centered approach to development, quoted from the Song Chair of Peru this year.
Okay.
In which human development is at the central stage.
Okay.
Along this annual thing, according to our information, Peru set 4 priorities for the APEC year of 2016, namely regional economic integration, the modernization of
MSME.
Yeah, MSME.
Yes.
And the human capital development, as well as the enhancement of food market.
Okay.
That starts from the regional economic integration first.
Okay.
Well, with this opportunity, APEC is anticipated to finish a key study on FTAAP by the Leaders Summit in November. Okay. Taiwan has been actively participate in this study since early 2015. By continuing participating in this study, we show APEC members our willingness and strength in joining any efforts for promoting regional economic integration, especially the long-term prospect of APEC, the FTAAP. And Taiwan can contribute even more to TPP-related issues like trade facilitation, unilateral liberalization, and behind the border issues we just talked about.
Yes.
It was sent a strong message to all the APEC members that we are capable of and willing to cooperate with them in all these issues related to regional integration and TPP.
Okay.
And, I won't be surprised that Peru will put another regional integration initiative at the central stage of its regional integration agenda this year. I refer to the Pacific Alliance, which is hosted by also Peru in 2016.
Yes.
To enhance our cooperation with Peru and to show our support to the host economy this year, I think Taiwan should welcome any progress of the Pacific Alliance hosted by Peru and any contribution to the progress of regional economic integration in the APEC region.
Okay. And we understand that there is also another very important initiative driven by Taiwan or Chinese Taipei. It's on the reduction of food losses after the harvest.
Yes.
I also learned from you just now that this is an initiative that most of the member economies are very much interested in. Can you elaborate on your knowledge and experience surrounding this initiative?
Okay. Well, to enhance regional food market, Taiwan is promoting the program of reducing food loss after harvest.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a multi-year program, began 4 years ago.
Yes.
We have been devoted to this program for 4 years. And we know that reducing food losses is one of the top priority issues on the global and the regional agenda.
Okay.
Reducing food loss after harvest is one of the best ways to increase food supply without disturbing the functioning of food market. For example, we don't have to establish any food storage for emergency because some might concern that this kind of food storage might disturb the functioning of market mechanism.
Okay.
But if we are able to reduce food loss, we are increasing the food supply, right?
Yes.
Okay. In 2016, our this multi-year project will focus on the retailers and the consumers' behaviors.
Okay.
Okay. In Taiwan, for example, local bakeries always prepare more than necessary amount of bread.
Yes.
Let's say 10 to 15%.
Yes.
Because they claim that empty shelf might cause losing customers. Okay. And retailers often throw away the cosmetically challenged vegetable or fruit simply because they think that these vegetables and fruits fail to attract the attention from the consumers.
Yes.
I believe that there must be different situations of food loss throughout the region. So Taiwan's project is to offer a platform where experts and manufacturers can get together to exchange their experience and the policies.
Okay.
And the outcome of this project should help the people in the region to identify, realize the problems of food loss and any possible solution to it. Of course, there is no one fit for all solution. But anyway, in APEC, it's always helpful if we gather all the different experience and the policy together, and we learn from each other, and solutions generated during the process.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And Dr. Zhou, we understand that we are, marching based on the experiences and the base of cooperation among the member economies at APEC. We are now marching down the road to further economic regional integration, whether it's RCEP or it's a TPP. I mean, they are both very important for Taiwan. And I think our government, the current one and the future one, will also continue down this path. And what is important, maybe for a lot of people, is that, since we are now entering into the possibility of a multilateral FTA, so to speak, free trade, structure, will it still make sense, or is it necessary to have some bilateral or trilateral FTAs? For example, the service trade, agreement with China, is still stalled in our, legislature, but also the commodity trade, agreement. Is this, something that we still need to do if we are eventually in the future could be part of TPP or RCEP? What do you think?
Well, thanks for the very important question. I think in the time of plurilateral or multilateral trading agreement or system,
yes,
bilateral connections or free trade agreements still play a very different part in the evolution of a global trade regime. Taking the trade and service agreement between mainland China and Taiwan as an example, it's very crucial for us to join, for example, TPP.
Yes.
I would like to explain it more,
please,
so as to avoid any possible misunderstanding. I mean, when we are trying to join the TPP, one of the key conditions is to manage China factor properly. I mean, if we want to join the second round of a TPP negotiation, we will have to win consensus among all the existing TPP members.
Yes.
And China enjoys tight economic relationship with several of them.
Yes.
This means that if China wants to do, he is capable of interrupt the consensus building process for Taiwan's entry into the TPP. So it's always helpful if any progress for improving the cross-strait relationship, and it's crucial for us for our entry into the TPP. So that's one of the examples shows that even we are trying everything to join a regional or a multilateral trading system. At the same time, we should pay attention to bilateral trade connections or agreement.
Yes.
Because sometimes the bilateral trading agreement could be the foundation or building block for the regional or global ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
So those two should go hand in hand, and they will help certainly enhance our prospects of eventually joining RCEP or TPP in the future. Thank you very much, Dr. Zhou, for being a special guest on our program today. I certainly have benefited a lot from our conversation. Want to wish you all the best in your future personal and professional endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, you too.
And thank you for watching our program today. I'll see you next time on Macroview Television. Thank you.